We can start.
Yeah, hello, and thank you very much for inviting me here. I'm very happy to be in Hungary again. It's been a long time I've been here. So now I have the duty to show you a presentation about the youth unemployment in Germany that, like you heard, doesn't exist. Really doesn't exist. So, but like we already heard today, I want to introduce the house where I am and where the young people go that are not unemployed, and they come to us. This is the house of the open door, and the open door is always opened. Opening at 9 o'clock in the morning, closing sometimes at 12 or 1 or 2. It depends on the deserves of the youngsters who come to our place. So that's why it's called. We have 4 pillars we work on. The one is the youth work. Just youth work, and the main point is youth policy, education. We want the youngsters to become politicians? No, but to understand how politics works. Mr. Schneider, yes. So we really educate them in a non-formal way. That's the first pillar. The second pillar is the transition. We call it the transition pillar because we work together with schools and with kindergarten. So there is a transition between kindergarten and school. So we have a colleague working there to make the transition easier, to work together with the parents, the children, and the teachers. The third pillar is transition again. It's a transition between school and employment, school and work. And there we work together with school, with business, with politicians, with youth clubs, with associations, with everybody who can help us in the community to get the youngsters to fulfill their life dreams. And the fourth pillar is, it started when Ramon joined us 2 years ago. It's our international youth work. International work that we use with the youngsters together and for us, ourselves, to get it, to make it, to give it a better quality. Because we personally think that everybody can learn from everybody in whole Europe. So, and I'm also here to give the youngsters that we only heard in the morning, to give the youngsters that we don't see, and you were talking about it, the youngsters we don't find, a voice, because that's what we do, we find them. We work with the youngsters in transitions, plus we go out and try to find them. And that's why I want to give them a face and a voice. So this is a video they did in Austria, in our international youth work, and I wanted to show it to you so you get a picture of what I'm talking about.
Look at me. It's okay if you don't see me.
But I am here.
On the edge.
In the back. Without a voice.
Anywhere but on your mind.
Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I dress to my own style and not yours.
Maybe I don't learn like everyone else or think like them either.
Maybe it's my fault you didn't see that failure gave me strength, that my pain was my motivation.
Look at me. I won't let myself stay on the edge.
I won't let myself finish where you say.
I know what is within me.
Even if you can't see it yet.
Look me in the eyes.
Give me the opportunity, and I become
what I know
I am.
Okay, so now you had a picture and a voice. We couldn't take them here, but this is how they are, what they think, part of it. They tried to put it in a video. So now, what do? We have this outreaching approach, and for us, the active participation is one of the main points. If we go up to them and talk to them, but they have to get active, and if they don't want to, they don't want to. That's the point, when we leave them. But they know where we are, and they know that if they want to do something, they can just come up and talk to us. So what does this active participation really mean? And we learned that because we always think that they know what they want. No, they don't. And that's one of the main problems. They are sitting there, and then you ask them, so what do you really want to do? And they say, I really don't know. So then you're standing there, yeah, so if you don't know what you want to do, how can we get together? So one of the things is that we really have to support them in their process, and it starts with really guiding them, giving them opportunities, showing them what there is in the whole world they can discover. And that's the international youth work, or theater, or graffiti, or whatever. And then they find out really what they are good at. So let me ask you a question. And the one who gives me the first answer, I will invite for a beer tonight. So if I ask you, what can you do good?
Anything I want.
she was so, yeah, anything I want. What's that?
It depends what I want.
I'm asking you, what do you want?
That was not the first question.
Yeah, but that's how we started. But that's okay. We drink a beer. Okay, because to give you an example, we had two guys from England. David sent them to us, and we had some people from Germany going to Germany, part of Luxembourg, part of France, and part of Belgium, and asked the people on the streets, the young people on the streets, in schools and in clubs, the question, what are you good at? 90% of the young people weren't able to answer this question. They didn't know. They were looking at them and saying, yeah, maybe, yeah, in German, in school, my German was, yeah, quite fair, but math, I was very bad. So they said, yeah, but we didn't know what you were bad at, so what are you good at? So it was very impressive to see that they really didn't know what they are good at. And if you don't know what you're good at, then you don't know what you want to do. Yeah. So then they went up to the politicians in the towns, in the cities where they went to, and asked the politicians, what are you good at? And even 85% of the politicians couldn't give a real answer. It was like, oh, yeah, I have to. But then when they asked them, what do you think youngsters should do? Well, they knew they should be punctual, they should like this for job life, just to give you an imagination. And that's what, for them when they came back, it was really, they said, and it was all young people with few opportunities, they all said that it was very helpful for them to learn that even students they met on the streets didn't know what they were good at. They were just doing something. So that's what one thing we work on. We say, yep, I can do, yep, we can do, whatever, and we want them to find out what they're good at. And then they can maybe be good at work. So how do we do that? One thing is we listen to them, and we listen quite well. It takes a long time. Sometimes it takes a long time, but we have to listen to them, and we take them really serious. Doesn't matter what they say. We try to make them. Sometimes, to give you an example, it's not that easy to take them serious, because when we ask them in a group, we ask them, "What do you? What's your dream to when you're 30? What do you want to be?" And they say a mafia boss. So we say, "Okay," we write it down. And then they say, they are really surprised. I say, so if you want to be a mafia boss, what talents do you have to have? What skills? So then they look at me, and then, yeah. But that's how we take them really serious. And they don't really feel that we are laughing about them, because I say, if you tell me that, then I have to take you serious. And then we really found out what a mafia boss has to do well. And then they said, but maybe I can become a dealer, a businessman with all those skills. I said, yeah, good idea. You become a businessman. So that means listen and taken serious. And what we also do is we lobby for time. And that's in Germany. And I'm only talking about Germany. Sometimes we get the feeling that when you're born, you have to know what you want to be, or which job you want to take later on. When you go to, when they go to communion, when you're Catholic, they go to communion, they are 8 years or 9, there are parents or relatives that ask, so what do you think you're going to be when you are? So we say they can't know, maybe they have a little idea, and they don't have to work when they're 16. So we lobby for it. We want them to take their life in their own hands. There are young people that want to do that, and they have real clear plans. They know what, but most of them, they really don't want to. We don't want them just to, and that's one of the favorite things they do, is chill. We let them chill, but then we say, okay, so now it's boring, isn't it? And then, yes, it is very boring. So then we try to do something with them, but we don't force them. And that's in contrary to that what Mr. Schneider said when he said fördern and fordern. We work together also with the job center, but the job center says, you have to do this now. And if you don't do this, then you don't get this and this money. So we don't do, but the job center works together with us now, because they found out that even if they don't get the money from them, they still don't do it. Because they don't know, and that's the problem, not because they don't want to do it, but because they don't know how to do it, and what is really important for them. So we lobby for time also with the job center, and with the politicians, and with the schools, and with everybody we are handling with. Plus we give them a parental style support. In German, when I was young, it was my parents who took me to whatever I needed when I was 16, 17, and they showed me where I can get things. But times changed. Parents are working. Parents is only the mother or is only the father. There is nobody else. We don't have that big families anymore. So I had 2 brothers. So I was the oldest, so I was the one who had to do all this. But in other families was other people, and now there may be only 1 child, and they really don't know where to go, like somebody already said today. So maybe you are a drug abuser, therefore you have death, plus you have to look for an apartment, and you have to get your papers, your CV written. So there are 4 places you have to go to, but you don't have a car, you don't have the money for the bus. So they come to us, and we make the people who drug abuse with all this come to our house and do that with them there, or make them go there. So they get this all with us together. So that's what parents used to do. So we call it a parental style support. And we learned that in America there was a study about that more and more the social workers and the youth workers have to do this. Because even the parents don't know anymore how to do things. That's what we found out. So we do that, and that's why we always have to, we are living a life of lifelong learning, because we always have to look what changed again, what kind of paper changed, and what do we have to do, so it's a challenge for us also. Plus the international youth work, and that's a point where we found out that our national agency of Youth in Action, I think it was Amantas who mentioned it today, yes, it was you. Youth in Action told us that there are many projects, but the projects that they support are not for youngsters with fewer opportunities or with youngsters who don't have a diploma. So we said, okay, we try that, and most of the youth workers say that the youngsters with fewer opportunities are not able to go to Austria or to go to Hungary because they don't speak English or all this, and we said we try. And we found out that it works very, very well. At the beginning they say, oh, no, I don't speak English, wah, 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 wah. But then they find out that the people from Lithuania don't speak English. So then they try, or the people from France or whatever, and then they start talking with hands and feet, and it works. Yeah? And it's a very, very good thing when they come back, or when people come to us, they're very proud of themselves because they made it. Yeah? So this is a very good method to work with them. And plus we do the same things. We also go, my colleagues and me, we also try to get trainings from the EU. And so we learn from other countries what they do in this issue, in this point. And it's also good for us, so we don't stay in our same thing all day long and say, yeah, but that worked 5 years ago. That's what you usually, yeah, but 5 years ago we did that. But then we can change our work, and it's good for us, and it never gets boring. Yeah. So we also have this holistic approach on the young people. I hope you already heard a little bit about it. You heard that we try to work with them on every point, but the holistic approach is also in society, in community. We try to do things with them in the community, for the community, do social things. Also, like Imanta said, we have to have many, many cooperation partners from education system, from business, from politicians, from everywhere, because you won't believe it, but you can use everybody to do things with the youngsters also, because we accompany 290 young people with 2 social workers, and you can imagine that 2 social workers can't do that alone if you accompany them. So we have many people who help them, who take them, who do the parental style and who have fun with it. So it's also then a holistic approach, and we try to work with the parents, with the family, with everybody who's moving around them and who is in our community, who has to do with our stuff, and we do something for the community. It's a kind of solidarity. We try to tell them that community is solidary with them, so we should be solidary with them also, and it works, and they have fun with it. Well, that's a word for today, have fun with it. Plus, we promote also entrepreneurship, but entrepreneurship not only as a business. We want them to take their life in their own hands, and not wait for, I talked to a bishop from Croatia, half a year ago, and he told me that he has the feeling that the communism in Yugoslavia made the young people sit there, wait for the prince to come and pick them up. And I said, okay, we never had communism in Germany, and we have the same people. So it can't be the communism, but that's what I mean with entrepreneurship. And as an entrepreneur, you have to have your mind together, you have to think, you have to plan, and you have to have fun. I think as an entrepreneur, you also have to have fun. And that's what we try to promote with them. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And there are people who become entrepreneurs, who open up little businesses, and we tell them, you won't become rich, but it's your life, and you know what you do, and you don't have somebody telling you, now you have to go to this training where they are telling you for the 154th time how you write a CV. And that's what, yeah, I don't mean it that bad, but sometimes that happens. So then it helps them, and they do things. Like we had a project with 12 countries in Zinzig, where for one day we opened up a business shop. And before we worked with all those young people, and then they sold things, like pictures they painted, and it was during Easter that there were people painting eggs, and people making music, and all this, just showing it to the community, to the people. I don't know how much money they made during those hours. Do you remember, David?
I didn't get any.
100 euros in about 3 hours, right? Something like this in the community, and I think it was a good thing, and that's what we want to qualify more, because there are, and I don't know how it is in your towns, but in our town, in our cities, there are many shops closing down, and nobody wants to take over, so we are trying to get one of those shops to make a European market, so whenever we have an initiative, or whenever we have a project, or whenever we have young people who have an idea, they can try it out there. But we are working on it. It's not that easy, believe me, but we're trying, and as we heard, we can do everything we want for the beer. No, she doesn't listen. So I think maybe one day we'll succeed. And now I thank you very much. And if you have any question, ask me when you're all done. Thanks.